Next on Worcester News tonight, police in a small central Massachusetts town searching for a woman they say stole money meant for children. Plus, a local baseball team is giving back to the community with a generous donation. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The Worcester Police Department launches a new program for addiction recovery. The Worcester Program for Addiction Recovery is made up of police officers, recovering addicts with at least 2 years of recovery, people who have lost loved ones to addiction, as well as people who just wanted to volunteer. Volunteers will reach out to people who have overdosed in the city to see if they want help. Officer Patricia Cummings says every time there's an overdose, she receives a page on her pager. So she and a volunteer will reach out to the person at the hospital and then check up on them again after a few weeks. 8 volunteers participated in a 6-week training program to prepare them for this work.
I want those of you who have volunteered and considered volunteer advocates because they're advocating for the individual. They were taught about stigma and labels. They were taught about motivational interviewing. They discussed stages of change. We want to know that when you're talking to an individual in need, what stage are they in? When they start saying, no, I don't need it, maybe they haven't, that's pre-contemplation. They know they're there. So because they know they're there, they'll know what to ask them. So they're very prepared.
Officer Cummings says phone calls will begin going out tomorrow at 7 a.m. The Bravehearts dropped off a special delivery to Catholic Charities Monday. The Worcester baseball team donated 11 box springs and mattresses to the organization for its Crozier House, a 30-bed facility offering a 6-month recovery program for men. Dave Peterson, Bravehearts general manager, says an anonymous season ticket holder donated the mattresses in hopes the team would give them to someone in need.
The mission was something that we wanted to help out, to be able to provide beds in a residential unit for people who are going through some tough times.
Catholic Charities are currently working with state agencies to potentially open a 6-month program for women at their Leominster location. They say if there are any beds left over, they'll be given to them. More than 100 people gathered this weekend for the 23rd annual Arthritis Charity Ball to help raise money to find a cure for the disease. Clarence Plant, CEO of the Oddfellows Home in Worcester, has been a big advocate and contributor to the Arthritis Foundation over the years and sponsors the event, which gathers people from across the country. Nearly 40 million Americans suffer from arthritis. Dr. Roland Bing Change is a rheumatologist and on the National Board of Directors at the Arthritis Foundation. He says he flew in from Chicago to support Plant's work.
Arthritis Foundation national office for many years because he has presented large checks, donations to the Arthritis Foundation. Rheumatology and arthritis are, all through our family, and so it is really deeply important to me and my family that we find a cure.
At the end of the night, the Oddfellows Home presented a check of almost $400,000 for arthritis research. Police in North Brookfield are asking for the public's help identifying a woman they say stole money from a donation jar. The money being collected at a local convenience store was set to be donated to Toys for Tots. Now police are hoping surveillance photos of the suspect will help. Our Rosalind Flaherty has the story.
I think it's really disgusting. I can't believe that somebody would actually do that.
Shocking news for many in the small town of North Brookfield. Police say this woman stole a Toys for Tots donation bucket days before Christmas. According to police, the money was taken from this Cumberland Farms last week. They say the suspect distracted the cashier, placed the bucket inside her coat, and left.
I can't believe that it would happen in a town like North Brookfield here. I mean, people around here generally are a lot better. It just surprises me that anybody would do that, especially this time of the year.
Toys for Tots Worcester released a statement in regards to the theft, reading in part, "It is very disheartening that someone would do this at such a crucial time in the season. Every dollar we collect helps to purchase a gift for a child in our local community."
I hope they find the person.
Stephanie Bilodeau works nearby and goes to the Cumberland Farms every day. She says the jar has been there for a while and always puts in extra change.
Those are for the children. I'm floored.
Meanwhile, surrounding businesses like Gillette Restaurant Equipment say the community is close-knit and wants to help out as best they can.
You know, what we'd like to do, being a part of the community, we've been here for almost 30 years, we'd actually like to put a couple $100s back into it to help to replace at least some of the money.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Tonight, the Spencer Police Department is asking for the public's help after a manhunt for a gunman came up empty. State police and SWAT teams were searching for a man in violation of a restraining order Sunday, but the search was put on hold. Here's a look at the suspect, 38-year-old Stephen Patchen. They say he left his home after a dispute and ran into the woods with what appeared to be a long gun. And they believe he's only a danger to himself at this point. More than 200 guns were collected over the weekend during the Goods for Guns buyback program in Worcester County. The program is in its 16th year and was held at several police stations across Central Mass. Since the program has started, more than 3,100 guns have been collected in the area. Founder Dr. Michael Hirsch says the program aims to remove unwanted guns from homes and educate residents about the importance of safe gun storage. Nationwide, almost 700 guns were collected this past weekend, including Worcester County, Boston, New Haven, and Hartford, Connecticut, as well as San Francisco. The New England Patriots are now tied for the best record in the AFC. Fans were left on the edge of their seat during the dramatic come-from-behind victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. This game will have huge implications for the playoffs. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with Pats fans today and has the story.
The Steelers had a better record going into Sunday's game and were on an 8-game winning streak, but one Worcester fan says you can never underestimate the Patriots.
It was definitely a nail-biter.
It was a close game through the last minute.
I was so on the side of my seat the last 3 minutes. It was crazy.
But the New England Patriots managed to clinch the AFC East for the 9th year in a row, the longest streak in NFL history.
It just goes to show that New England's the best team overall.
Worcester's Nicholas Vinton is a die-hard fan and hasn't missed a game in years. He even has the Patriots logo permanently on his arm.
I got my first Patriots tattoo when I was 15. It was my first tattoo.
The Pats beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it all came down to the final seconds.
Luckily, we made one more than they did, but it was a very competitive game, and our guys just kept battling and battling and battling, and in the end, we're able to make enough plays to win.
It takes a lot to beat them. I mean, it's not like there was, anyone was running away with it today. It was a tight game, and we just obviously made one more play than they did.
The Banner Bar and Grill's Michelle Gedman says the restaurant was filled to capacity Sunday night.
It gets really very, very quiet and sullen. And then moments later, of course, when it turned around, insane, absolutely insane.
I thought it was devastating at first. I mean, I wanted to turn off the TV and just give up. That interception at the end was just to verify that we won. I mean, my voice still hurts from yelling and screaming.
Now this win solidifies the Patriots' spot in the playoffs with the home field advantage. And as Vinton predicted last year, he expects the Patriots will take home another Super Bowl win. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Switching gears now, a Massachusetts family getting quite the early Christmas gift. They received a typewriter from Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks. Perry Russum explains why.
The punches pulsate through the DePeisters' Wellesley home.
I'm just telling them where I've sent less letters to.
The often overlooked, forgotten form of communication thrives here.
I actually prefer the typewriter compared to a computer.
In the fall, they saw the documentary California Typewriter. It profiles the stars who still use the machine. Tom Hanks is one of them.
90% of them are in perfect working order.
It was dated September 24th, 2017.
That's when Nick DePeister had an idea.
Dear Mr. Hanks, your appearance in California Typewriter inspired me to ask you to send my family one of your functioning typewriters.
He wrote he was challenging his son Rowan to type one thank you note a week.
Just the mechanics of it is really interesting.
Time ticked on. October, November, and then this month.
This box arrives, and frankly, I had no idea what it was. And then I'm looking at the return address. It said Playtone. I'm like, Playtone, Playtone, Playtone?
That's the name of Hanks's production company, and in the box sat this Olympia typewriter, his autograph on top.
He said to use it just the way it was.
Promises were made, one letter a week, and they have to buy a typewriter for someone else.
That's the plan. Otherwise, the typewriter goes back.